Good day, everyone. This is Pineleaf Needles, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and here at DDO Players. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Draculetta.
Hey, everybody. How's it going?
Hello, everything is going all right here. And it looks like this week we actually have some game news.
Yeah, who was that idiot last week that said we probably wouldn't see any news? That dude was a real moron.
Well, the first bit of news is at least predictable, and that is Festivalt is here.
It is! Golden coins and silver coins, and in my case, copper coins, are all throughout the land. Well, in Eberron at least, because you can't find them in Faerun or in Evening Star. Just as a pro tip, if you want to get coins, you got to go over to the Eberron side.
All right. No Electrum coins?
I don't even know what that is, Pineleaf.
You don't even...
You're dropping the Pineleaf logic already, and we're only a minute and 30 seconds into the show, and you're already dropping the logic, Pineleaf.
All right, then let's have a look at some of the new stuff that is coming up for Update 29, starting out with a look at the randomized loot system. What, they're changing how loot is rolled? Does that mean you have a chance of rolling something?
Heck no. In theory, I should, but we all know it'll never happen. Stupid RNG anyway. They are changing how loot is going to be handled in Update 29. This was on Lamania this weekend for a preview, and we will talk about that in a bit as well. What is going to happen now is they're calling it the scaling effect. Effects will scale behind the scenes. What that means is instead of seeing like a dazing 2 or a dazing 4 on an item, you will just see dazing. However, the amount of the bonus will change as the item scales up, and the descriptions will accurately reflect that benefit. What that does is developer and world designer No Worries says that will allow them to build items and higher level items more quickly, and it will help maintain the list of effects.
Oh, so they don't have 5,000 duplicate items in there?
Right, yep, that'll help with that as well. And also, currently on the live servers, how it works is random loot has a prefix and a suffix and an enhancement bonus. And an overall power of the item is divided between those three effects. But going forward, the prefixes, suffixes, and the enhancement bonuses will be independent of one another, meaning that you could get multiple very good effects on a given item. Additionally, there will be a chance for an additional effect to go along with the prefix and the suffix, which is also independent. So what that means is that will give you the possibility of 3 effects on an item, all of which will determine their own level independently. So that means better loot. We should see better loot, which is a good thing.
Unless, of course, the random number generator hates you. Then...
Well, this is true. The other big thing is currently on live servers, how it works is the minimum level of an item is determined on the fly by its enhancement value and other effects. Starting in Update 29, the minimum level of the items you will see in chest will be based on the level of the dungeon itself. So that means a level 10 dungeon on normal will drop minimum level 10 random loot, and level 12 loot on elite. Behind the scenes, how these minimum levels work is different and improved. So if you were on Lamania and you're testing this on Lamania, they did want you to provide some feedback on that.
All right, and I have to say that I had been getting tired of, when I'm running in a level 3 dungeon, constantly getting level 4, level 5 vibes. No, I can't use this yet. No, I can't use this yet. No, I can't use this yet.
And also, the thing that kind of piqued my interest is the extra lucky loot. You can now get extra power on an item. In addition to a normal range effect power an item can have, there will be a rare chance, hence the word rare chance, of the item getting even more power beyond its normal range for that minimum level. And I think Bonnie Bew in the chat room sums it up perfectly. She says, this all sounds very random. So we'll see. But like I said, this was up on the Mania. They are testing it. It is going to go live in Update 29, which should be on live server soonish. So we'll see what happens with it. And I haven't actually been on the Mania, so I haven't tested this at all.
What is this green steel stuff I always hear? I guess I've just... I guess it has something to do with the shroud, but...
Yes, you get the items to craft green steel in the Shroud Raid and out in the Veil. Well, with Update 29, Legendary Green Steel is coming. And everybody freaks out and cheers and yells. And they are so excited about Legendary Green Steel. Varguil says, what you do is you play Update 29 quest and raids, collecting your ingredients. This includes all 3 raids. The Legendary Hound of Zoriat, the Legendary Tempest Spine, will provide indirect access to Legendary Green Steel ingredients, and of course, the Legendary Shroud will drop the ingredients as well. And then you do the same thing that you do for regular green steel crafting, other than you're just going to do legendary green steel crafting on it. So you'll craft a blank weapon, and then you'll add your ingredients and pick however you want to do it. I have only messed with it once, so I am not much to speak on it. But next week, Body Bew will be joining us to talk about Festivalt, and we can probably get her to talk about green steel, because she knows all about it.
Right. Now, anything else going on in Update 29?
There is so much happening in 29. We did get our first look at some of the new loot that is coming in the raids, and it looks like pretty decent stuff. I was looking at the light and medium armors. They kind of excited me. They were the leathers of the Celestial Avenger and the leathers of the Celestial Archer. They look pretty decent. Of course, there's also heavy. If you wear heavy armor, there's that as well. There is a post up on the forum that we'll link in the show notes. Steel Star put up, he talked about all of the effects and the bonuses that are on all the loot. It looks like pretty decent loot. There's some monk outfits if you're a monkey and you want to like punch things in the face and have good outfits on. You can do that. There's a nice buckler that looked pretty nice. So overall, it looks like the loot is going to be pretty good for the new raids.
Assuming you get it to drop for you.
Yeah, of course, which I never will. Again, stupid RNG.
All right. And of course, Lamania was over the weekend, as Drac did say, and I'm sure some people got around to testing it because I didn't.
Yep, I didn't either, actually, this time. I was doing other things. I wanted to pop on for a little bit, but I just did not find the time to do it. But people that did do it got a chance to look at the Legendary Tempest Spine and the Legendary Hound of Zoriat raids. Those were open. You could check out the Legendary Shroud and the Legendary Green Steel. All were being previewed, and of course, the random loot generating system was also up to check out. That's really about it. There's really not much to say since it's down now. I'm assuming we might get one more weekend. We still don't have an exact date of when 29 will hit, but it's supposed to be soon, so I don't know if we're going to get one more round. This was the second round in Lamania, and if judging in the past, we usually either get 2 or 3 rounds on Lamania before it hits live. So we may or may not get another one. I don't know. And I know Cordovan is in the chat room. I'm kind of waiting for him to pipe up.
Waiting to
see if he has anything to say on this. So we're stalling for time. But he says yeah. So I'm assuming he means we'll get one more round on the money. And Cordovan is saying in the chat room there, we should have another preview towards the end of the week. So there you go.
All right, then. Now, anything else on the release notes for Update 29 before we go to the Chronicle?
Not really. We'll cover them when it goes live.
Then let's go to the DDO Chronicles then. And anything interesting there this week?
There is Musk, who you might know, that writes on and off of the site. He hasn't written anything in a while, but he is now live streaming on the official DDO stream. So welcome, Musk, to the official stream team, and check out his Twitch. I've watched several of his streams, and he does an awesome job. And he also gives away turbine points at random times during his streams, too. So you might get some turbine points for watching him, but Musk does a great job. So check him out as part of the official DDO stream team now. In the fansite news section of the Chronicle, DDO Cast is joined by community manager Cordovan, where they talked about level 16 to 24. So check that out. Give that a watch or a listen. Damsels of DDO ran some High Road on Epic. Check that out to hear their exciting adventures they had in the High Road. DDO Wiki Talk was on episode number 11, and that included a giveaway. And DDO Gamer was talking about reincarnation, so check over to see what Jeff has to say about that. And for the Chronicle, that is just about it.
All right. So I had to say that it says here that the Cordovan crew went to the Temple of Elemental Evil for last week's stream.
Oh, I did not see that because I was actually not home, so I didn't get to watch it. But I guess you did. I'm going to have to watch that on YouTube.
Yeah, because I think that would be a good idea to see. I want to see how they handle the Gatling ballista.
I told you how you handle it. You sneak and you assassinate the guy. Problem solved.
Well, if you're good at sneaking.
Well, that's why you should always have a road with you.
Now, this screenshot, I'm wondering, what is that?
That screenshot is when you reincarnate. That is the place that you end up when you go through your reincarnation. That's on top of the building. I'm not sure how they got up to that section, but that is what the screenshot of the week is.
All right, then. Then let's head into our store sales. Any nice things on sale this week?
There is some good stuff. The Slayer Count Boost are 20% off, which I may or may not have taken advantage of. See the show later. Select Shared Storage, also 20% off. The ever-popular Jewels of Fortune, also 20% off in the DDO store. And they are doing, I should say, the December specials again. This week through December 10th, the Warlock class is 35% off. The Sovereign Guild Renowned Elixirs are 75% off. And ingredients bags and the Foretold Temple of Elemental Evil is 50% off. And that special does run until December 10th.
And then let's head into the site news where we've got a screenshot.
We do have a screenshot, and that is my wolf shooting fireballs out of his mouth.
Oh, is that what that is?
By the light of the moon. Yes, that is my wolf block.
Your wolf flock.
I'm out in the Vale, or orchard. I'm out in the orchard, and I saw the moon, and I thought, hey, that would make a good screenshot. So I got the camera angle just right, and I fired off a bunch of blasts, and I happened just to catch one at the right moment. So I thought it was a pretty cool screenshot.
And I also heard some rumors that you're giving away something tomorrow?
We are. Check the site at 10 a.m. tomorrow. But see, I'm just going to tease you. I'm not going to tell you what we're giving away.
Ooh.
You'll have to tune in. So the people in the live chat, tomorrow at 10 a.m., that post will go up, and you can see what our giveaway is. For those that download the show or watch on YouTube, by the time you are listening to this, the giveaway is already active. And it's like our other giveaways. It's pretty simple to enter. All you have to do is go to the post and leave a comment if you so choose to enter the contest for the mystery prize that we are giving away.
All right. And I presume that is 10 a.m. U.S. Eastern Time.
It is 10 a.m. Eastern Time.
Anyway, then let's head into our news beyond DDO. And the classic fantasy RPG RuneQuest is set to return, and it's back in the hands of the original designers, Chaosium.
Yes, we actually talked about this before the show, and I looked up the whole history of this, and it's crazy at how many people owned the rights to RuneQuest at one point in time. But yes, Chaosium does have it back, and they are kickstarting to re-release the second edition in a special 50th anniversary edition of it. It's got 13 days to go. They wanted $30,000, and they're at $109,000 plus. So this is going to get kickstarted in 13 days. So if you want in on it, now's the time to do it. And we will also talking before the show. I don't think I have ever played RuneQuest. I've read the book several times because I've known people that have bought RuneQuest and played it, but I've never played it, so I can't talk much about it.
Now, I did play it once back in my CompuServe days.
Wow, you're kicking it old school, Pine Lane.
Yeah, that was old school. That was old school style of playing online. But yeah, usually though, when I was doing stuff on CompuServe, I was doing GURPS instead of...
Now, how did that work when you were playing an RPG on CompuServe? Were you in like a chat room?
Well, actually, we did it two ways. Sometimes we did it in chat rooms, because I did a couple that were done in chat rooms, and since they had a /roll command, that's how we did our dice. And we were in a members of a RPG forum, so there are many RPG players in that area. The other item that we would sometimes use is through the mail system. So we would leave messages with our commands, then after with a certain deadline, and then the GM will then post responses to each of the items that happen there. And usually when I ran games, it was using through the mail system.
Oh, so you were doing like a play-by-mail.
Yeah, actually, maybe mail is the wrong term. It's actually not really mail. It was more of posting on the forums.
Okay, all right.
So we would post to the thread, and usually we have a thread for each of the major turns.
Okay. Well, that's kind of awesome. I guess I didn't, back in the days when CompuServe and QLink and all those were around, I guess I didn't realize people were playing RPGs on them, but that's pretty amazing, actually.
Yep, we see it. We were. And now Gen Con is to expand to Lucas Oil Stadium in 2016 so that there will not be concerts there in the middle of Gen Con, I guess.
One can hope not. Teenage girl apocalypse was upon us last year. One Direction, whatever. It's Gen Con needs to expand because, as I talked about and as we were reporting on Gen Con last year, it was super crazy crowded. So they have announced they did make a deal with Visit Indy. Sorry, if I could speak, that would help. That they are going to move part of the convention over to Lucas Oil Stadium, which is located adjacent to the convention center, and there is a tunnel that runs from the convention center to Lucas Oil. So technically, you could never have to go outside ever if you didn't want to. And if you stay in certain hotels, there's also connecting tunnels and connecting sky bridges. So in theory, you could never, ever see outside Indy at all at Gen Con now. Depends on how you want to do it. It's up to you. But all they have said so far is True Dungeon is going to move over there, which that is pretty exciting because that means True Dungeon is going to be even bigger than what it is already. The CEO of Gen Con says expansion into Lucas Oil Stadium is another exciting step forward for Gen Con. We have grown to host nearly 200,000 turnstile attendees, and it is evident that we have to accelerate our growth plans to meet attendee, exhibitor, and event organizer demand. Expansion into Lucas Oil Stadium will allow Gen Con to keep offering more gaming, more exhibition, and entertainment options each year. And True Dungeon is pretty excited about this move as well. Jeff Martin, the creator of True Dungeon, says, "We are very excited to offer an improved coaching and adventure experience with our new location." And as I said, True Dungeon has sent a couple emails about this, and they are excited because they're saying True Dungeon is going to be bigger and better than ever. And True Dungeon was already pretty huge to begin with because it always took up one of the biggest ballrooms in one of the hotels already. So I can't imagine how much room they're going to get at Lucas because Lucas Oil Stadium is huge.
Now, concerning Indiana, don't they have more than their share of gaming conventions with Winter Fantasy 40 coming up?
That is an amazing segue, sir. I give you props for that. Winter Fantasy is coming back. We did cover Winter Fantasy 39 last year. And Winter Fantasy does continue to grow and is offering more games. And this year, something really exciting is happening. The Dungeons & Dragons Adventure League is going to kick off the second half of Season 3 storyline, which is taking part in the Rage of Demons, of course. So you're going to get the opportunity to play the new adventures, Death on the Wall, the Moroccan Unbound, I'm sure I pronounced that wrong, and the Assault on Mary Madridia. I wish they would come up with easier words to pronounce. But that is not all. Winter Fantasy is also your chance to catch up on all of the content before the season wraps up on March 15th. And they are also going to give some epic play as well with the premiere of an epic adventure that is going to kick off the opening to Season 4. Which we do not know at this point what Season 4 will be of the Adventure League. And they were giving hints. And, last week we talked about the hints that were dropped that it could be vampire-themed. So, will we see Ravenloft at Winter Fantasy? I guess we'll see. We'll have to look, and we are going to be there and covering it. So, look for posts and... I think this time I'm going to try, if you're familiar with what Periscope is, it is a new app from Twitter where you can broadcast live video. I am going to attempt to try that from the show floor.
to see how it works, and then if it works good, we might probably use that at Gen Con too. We'll see. So make sure you're following the DDO Players Twitter, because you will get a little notice if we go live on Periscope. From the Winter Fantasy show floor.
And now let's head on to Chris Perkins, who ran a module called the Knights of the Green Flame.
Talked about this. It's been a while ago that you could have the opportunity to play with Chris Perkins in Sword Coast Legends, and he would be your DM. Well, he designed a whole module around that, and some of the lucky people that were chosen got to play that module with him DMing. Well, now everybody can at least play the module. Of course, you won't get the opportunity to have Chris Perkins as your DM, but you can see what kind of craziness he thought up on the module. And all you have to do is log in to Sword Coast Legends and look up the module Knights of the Green Flame, and that is by Perkins approved. And once you see that, you can go ahead and download it and add it to your library, and then you can run it as much as you want.
All right. And continuing next, we have that the fine folks at Gale Force 9 have a new Dungeons & Dragons miniature. I'm not too sure if miniature is the right word.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because, well, I guess you could be one of the 1,500 people to own your own Dracolich that looks like tearing down a tower.
You know, Gale Force 9 does amazing work on their minis, but I think they outdid themselves on this one. As you said, it's limited to 1,500 units, $90 at MSRP on it, and the thing looks just awesome. Can you imagine if you were running through a dungeon and your DM breaks this out and places it on the table? Players would
Yikes!
Players would freak out about this. This is so well done. We do have pictures of it and a link to where you can try to buy it from Gale Force 9 if you are lucky, as they always limit their minis to usually 1,500, 2,000. That's about their limit on them, but they're worth it because just the detail in this. I mean, just look at his wings alone and the detail that are on the wings. It's just amazing.
It is just inconceivable. Inconceivable, which brings us to our on the tabletop for this week, where we're talking about a Kickstarted game, The Princess Bride. I hate to kill you.
Do you really hate to kill me, Pine Leaf? Really? Or are you just saying that?
Or are you left-handed?
My name is, never mind. A daring dice duel for left-handed players, and those that are not really left-handed can play as well, too. This is a crafty dice and card game that recreates and reimagines the sword duels from the Princess Bride movie. You can play as the Man in Black, Inigo Montoya, our Count Rugen, our Prince Humperdinck. Players start with 6 dice and 10 cards, and then on a turn, basically what happens is players roll the dice and then play a card, and which may modify the outcome of the battle, and you continue on with that. Once again, this was a Kickstarter project that was met, and so you... let me go over and see if you can still... Sometimes after the Kickstarter is over, they give you the option to buy in, and it looks like this one is done. So you have to wait till it hits retail now, but they did hit their goal within the first day on this one. So a lot of people excited about The Princess Bride, apparently.
Then let's head into our week in DDO. And what did you do this week?
I did so much stuff, Pine Leaf, besides the stuff that I did with you on Wednesday night. I was playing on Argo the whole week, actually.
A whole week of wolflocking.
That's right. I was playing my wolflock, who is now 17. So I got from 15 to 17, and I'm trying to get to 18 by December 29th. And the reason why I'm doing that is I was invited by the damsels to take part in a little special thing the damsels are doing with some other people in the community. I know Bonnie Bew is going to be there. Grimm's going to be there. I cannot remember a couple of the other people that are going to be there. Of course, all the damsels are going to be there as well. But we're going to be running the Hound of Zoriat raid. And everybody's going to be on wolves. So it's going to be a wolf raid. It's going to be fun. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a lot of us. I'm going to die a lot.
Howling madness.
It's going to be something, all right. So what I had to do, and of course you have to be 18 for that raid. So I decided that I would spend some time on my wolflock. and I drug Lessa along just because, hey, why not? So Les and I were out in the orchard of the macabre. I can never say that word for some reason. We did all of the rares, all of the explorers, did the slayers up to 5,000. I'm eventually going to go out and finish that off just so I can say that I have finished one complete slayer area.
It goes, what is the next level, 10,000?
7,500.
Okay.
So I got a ways to go, but I'll get it. And I'm telling you right now, listen to what I say. Everybody, this is important. Slayer pots and XP pots are amazing. So amazing. I also turned in 20 shreds of the tapestries that you pick up out in the orchard, and I got my Minos Legion's helmet, which is an awesome helmet. Lessa was telling me about that, and I'm like, ooh, I gotta have one of those. So I didn't take too long, just since we were out there running all the chests for the rares and stuff anyway, and Lessa was kind enough to, until I got enough to turn mine in for my helmet, she was giving me all the tapestries that she got out of the chest, so it didn't take me too long. And then also, she was telling me about a shard of Zoria trinket that you can pull from the Sane Asylum, which will give you the rare chance to spot a beholder to fight for you. And I'm like, I must have one of those. So we ran that like 5 or 6 times. And yeah, of course, it never dropped for me.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly wouldn't run something 5 times for a rare drop, especially considering what it does to your experience.
And she... Oh, sorry. I was getting distracted by the chat room. Bad chat room.
Yeah. And Les is like, I don't understand this. That trinket always drops. And I'm like, welcome to my world. Stupid RNG. I did pull the Sustaining Symbiote trinket, though, so I'm wearing that now on my wolf block, and that's helping out. That's got some decent stats. And then we ran a couple challenges, because when you're with Lessa, you have to run challenges. It's like an unwritten rule. We did Lava Caves, Time is Money, and the Exterminator Palace Labor Shortage. Also did the Devil's Gambit, Tavern Brawl, and Grim and Barrett, and didn't get any drop, but Grim and Barrett is where I actually hit 17. So then the next night, I decided, I had all this fun with Lessa, so now I'm going to have to get Saba Jade involved. So Saba and I ran around the Veil of Twilight. We worked on Rares, Explorers, and Slayers. We did Ritual Sacrifice on Hard. Did the Devil's Gambit. We just ran Subversion. And, of course, Saba's like, oh, we can run this on Elite. Oh, so many deaths. It was just craziness was ensuing, and deaths were ensuing. And I'm like, see, this is what happened when I run Quest on Elite. And Saba's like, oh, it's fine. You'll be all right. And I'm like, yeah.
You'll be all right.
He's like, just let me cast Invis on you and we'll run by all these. And she cast Invis on me and I run down and everybody just whack and I'm dead. She's like, well, they saw you. And I'm like, grrr. But as she's actually in the chat, she's saying it was fun. It was a lot of fun, even though I died like a lot. And I actually died. I killed the boss, and the boss killed me. So I didn't even get to loot the chest on that one. So I could have got a drop out of there. That could have been my one time the RNG was shining upon me. And I was dead, so I just had to release. So I was sad. And then the only other thing I did on the Wolf Block is I'm still trying to get to 18. Is I ran Acute Delirium, and I did that on Hard, and I actually survived that without dying once, so I did pretty good on that one.
Ooh, okay.
And then the only other thing I did was with you, which you will now talk about.
All right, then we'll start with my level 17 Artificer with Drac. Is it 17 or is it 18 now?
18.
18, that's right, it is 18.
Yep,
yes.
We hit 18 last week.
Yeah, I thought that was a little obsolete there. Yes, level 18 Artificer, where we ran Reign of Madness. We first ran the Lord of Stone, where I decided the boss there was to check off of bosses, because he started out with, if you see gargoyles at the start, then you'll be ripped by them at the end. So that was a funny little incident there. And then after that, we did the Lord of Eyes, where we're going around gathering elemental essence. Then on my rogue for level 3 to 4, I first ran the Waterworks, where I did the Kobold's Den. Okay, I did Clan Nashtoots without any trouble. And then I did the Kobold's Den rescuing Arlos, and I spoke to Arlo. I saw Arlos very early because of the direction I went in, and I clicked on him before killing all the monsters in the area. And Arlos, well, I don't think too many people will understand this in the chat room here, but I have to call him the Elrohir of DDO. And in case you want to know what that means, it means he goes out attacking every single NPC and getting all their attention and making sure he does his best to get himself killed if there's anyone in the area. So he died very quickly. So I redid it, and this time I decided to make sure I talked to him after I cleared out the entire area, so that time we succeeded. Then after that, I did the Sharn Syndicate, so the whole thing in there. And I must say that repossession is really easy when you're on a rogue.
You think?
Yeah. Boom. Oh, let me get this one. Oh, let me get this one. Oh boy, I disable all the traps. Now I could pick up everything without any trouble.
See, I keep telling you, rogues are awesome, Pineleaf, but you don't listen to me.
Well, yes, but I have a feeling an artificer could do the same thing.
Well, you and your artificers, I tell you. You always got to play the artificer card, don't you?
And of course, the same thing would be true in the Bookbinder's Rescue, where just being able to disable all the traps to all the rooms and then unlock all the doors and then be able to rush through in there, and before you get the message saying that you hear struggling on the other side, you are tearing the enemy apart and the NPCs all survive. And that was my week in DDO. If you would like to help support DDO players, you could go to the donations page where you could support the Players Alliance on Patreon. And there you will find rewards, including a mention on DDO Players News, or even be a guest host with us. And this week we did not receive any reviews, but if you'd like to post one, you could go over to the iTunes page and give us your support. We do have a featured comment, though, from Bonnie Bew, who left a comment on DDO Players News episode 61, Two-Headed Demon Goats? Yes, two-headed demon goats. I make cheese as a hobby. So this got me wondering if you need demon bacteria to culture demon goat milk. Gnome would totally start a demon cheese business. Shenanigans ensue. This is why Gnomageddon is important. P.S. Demon cheese would be called cheese because all the coolest demons and drow words have glottal stops.
That made me laugh.
Oh,
that
yeah,
really
but even
did.
trying to say a glottal stop in English is bad enough. Please. And PPS, now I'm thinking about the Hound of Zoriat in DDO and her side business, Zigzig's Bees Lip Balm. Thank you for completely distracting me, DDO players.
You're welcome.
And so therefore, all these apostrophes that we've been seeing in demon names have been glottal stops.
According to Bonnie Bew, yes, they are.
Right. And they expect someone who speaks English to be actually able to carry out a glottal stop.
Well, there is that little small detail.
Yeah, small little detail.
Of course, all these names are made up anyway, and who really can pronounce them? I don't even think the people that created them can pronounce these names.
Well, you
Because-
do have a point with that.
Because as we know, as we have talked about on the show,
Dritz is pronounced 3 different ways, and even R.A. Salvatore does not even know how to pronounce Dritz.
because he says it 3 different ways.
Boom! There you go.
We did not receive any emails this week, but if you would like to send us one, you could send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. And you could also follow us at Twitter, the Players Alliance @PlayersAlly, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Draculetta_72, and Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles. And the Players Alliance has 4 live shows. Every Monday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have DDO Players News. Every other Thursday at 9 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have XP Quest. Every Saturday at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time, we have Loto Players News. And every other Saturday after Loto Players News, we have Tales of the Free Folk. You join us for our live shows by going to ddoplayers.com/live. And that is all for tonight, and this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.